Hello all, this is James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I'm here in the backdrop of a beautiful sunset in the world of Kingdom Come Deliverance, the 2018 Game of the Year, as far as I'm concerned. And why am I here in Kingdom Come Deliverance? Because some topics need to be talked about. In particularly, the snubbing of Kingdom Come Deliverance at the 2018 Game Awards on syndicated TV that Jeff Healey runs. I thought it very interesting that Jeff Healey talked about how they do the nominations, and that it's very important that the nominations are done in a fair way. Thus, they get critics from around the country, 65 in total, that nominate their nominations. And then afterwards, the public gets to weigh in on voting with the already selected nominations in each category. And the reason for which, he said, is because he didn't want the mass public to be able to be manipulated by the deep pockets of any particular developer. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance and Warhorse are this is an indie developer. They don't necessarily have deep pockets that they could possibly manipulate the voting. But I'm quite sure they could have had a good shot at winning the voting. Kingdom Come Deliverance was snubbed several times over. It started right off the bat when they announced the Best RPG nominees. And then when they announced the Best RPG of the Year. The Best RPG nominees, Kingdom Come Deliverance, was not even amongst the selections. In fact, there may have been only one or two RPGs in the list. The other ones were not necessarily games you would consider part of the RPG genre. Notable nominee that was in that list was Sins 2, and that's at least a very solid RPG. If there was an RPG of the year that would give Kingdom Come Deliverance a run for its money, it would be Sins 2. But overall, no matter how good Sins 1 and Sins 2 are, and they are some of the best isometric RPGs that you'll ever find, I think they are stellar. They're amazing games. And if it came out in any other year that didn't involve Kingdom Come Deliverance, I would probably give it Game of the Year every single time. Just not this year. With that being said, it didn't win Game of the Year either. You know who won not Game of the Year, but RPG of the Year? We're talking about the RPG category here, mind you. The winner of the RPG category was Monster Hunter Worlds, an action-style game. It's not even the right genre. It's an action game. It's just a hack and slash, freaking Diablo style, but the monsters are far, far bigger than they were in Diablo, and you have the whole Japanese anime-ish type stuff going on with annoying voices and blah blah blah. I mean, it's not even on the level of Pokemon. It's just fancy graphics. Sadly, the world seems to revolve around fancy graphics. And, well, Kingdom Come Deliverance has fancy graphics. There is nothing at all wrong with the graphics of Kingdom Come Deliverance. And so, Kingdom Come Deliverance should not be, it shouldn't be hampered by its graphics, because it's as good as the games with fancy graphics that don't have any meat and potatoes to them, like Monster Hunter Worlds, which is evidently, according to Jeff Healey, the and his sham of Game Awards the best RPG of the year, and it's not even an RPG, frankly. Then we come to actually selecting the game of the year, and of course, Kingdom Come Deliverance was not on that list. I find it incredibly interesting that games that were on that list, like, for example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, don't even have near the sales that Kingdom Come Deliverance has. There are 12 games on Steam this year that went platinum. 12 games. Of those 12 games, Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the 12. Some of the other notable members of that 12 list is Civ 6. Again, not a 2018 release. Rocket League. Again, not a 2018 release. Did I say 2012 last time? Yeah, probably not a 2012 release either. Dota 2, which I think is. But actually, you get the point of this. If you narrow it down, the games that were actually released that went platinum on Steam, Kingdom Come Deliverance stands nearly alone. There might be 2 other games there. So those should be the peers that Kingdom Come Deliverance is facing in a Game of the Year type category, is the games that sold the most. Because, if people are going to spend their hard-earned money to actually purchase the games, then obviously that game must be good. Well, those other 2 that would have been left on the list, they weren't games of the year either, according to Jeff Healey. So yeah, can't really use that metric, I guess. Sales is not a very unique metric. But then I also find it interesting that we haven't actually had... We have the nominations of the Steam 2018 awards. And I actually like Steam's award system in that I feel it's far more fair than the critic-nominated award system that Jeff Healey runs. And in this year's Game of the Year award system on Steam, Kingdom Come Deliverance has made the list. And why? Because the games through Steam are actually selected by the masses, by the Steam masses, the people who play games on Steam, actual gamers selecting the games that they like the most. So it ought to be interesting to see if Kingdom Come Deliverance wins Game of the Year on Steam. It is up against some tough competition, but at least I think it'll be a far fairer process than Jeff Healey's sham of an awards ceremony that is becoming more commercialized and more of a show for commercials and monetization, and less about the gaming community. I hope that the gamers start to catch on to the absolute mockery of a games award show that is, and that they start to ignore it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't lend any credence to our game world. It actually cheapens it. It's becoming more and more like some of the big game, like IGN, for example. Everyone knows IGN has lost its way. You can't believe a review on IGN anymore because they're getting paid for their reviews. And so many different outlets for information about video games have been corrupted by basically the allure of money. And so now we have to rely on other ways of doing research about our video games. And thankfully we have YouTube, and we have great content creators on YouTube like Mac at Worthabuy, one of my favorite individuals, and then of course everybody likes Angry Joe, or most everybody likes Angry Joe. He did have a bit of a meltdown this year, but we won't go into that. So with that being said, we're looking at the transition of day into night here in Kingdom Come Deliverance. We're looking up at the stars, at the moon. Look at that moon. That's just... This is one of the best skyboxes I've ever seen in a video game. Kingdom Come Deliverance is everything an RPG should be. It's done everything right. From the moment I played it on day one. I got it on day one when we were still facing all the bugs. But even on day one, it was just instant. It was instantly, in my mind, game of the year. Game of the decade. This was the best game I had played since Daggerfall, which is going back quite some time. In Daggerfall, when the first time I played Daggerfall, there was something just transformative about the experience of Daggerfall. That was the Elder Scrolls game that just unlocked the imagination of what the mind could do within that sandbox. And that's a very different sandbox than Kingdom Come Deliverance. Daggerfall's sandbox is just huge, procedurally generated. Just a giant sandbox with giant possibilities because of the huge vast scope. Here in the Kingdom Come sandbox, you have a very different way of going about things. You have a very handcrafted world. A world that's very, very, very factually accurate. This tree line, this ridge line, this geography, the slopes of the landscape are all real. This is the way it really is in real life Bohemia. Well, most people don't know what Bohemia is anymore, but Bohemia is basically an area that would now be known as like current day Czech. I don't think Czechoslovakia even exists anymore, so it's now broken up into several different smaller countries, with, of course, the big city of Prague being nearby. This has been old school Bohemia was a place that was culturally filled with Moravians, Bohemians, Czechoslovakians, or Czechs and Slovaks. Sorry, those four. Plus, you also had Polish influence, German influence, very Slavic region, and this is what this is about. This is an old school representation of that time period, probably during the midst of the Holy Roman Empire, and it's very accurate representation, and that's part of the problem. Kingdom Come Deliverance got all kinds of crazy, politically correct police going on about the fact that they made a video game that didn't have black people, or a video game that didn't have minorities, and it just makes it makes the normal person just shake their head like, what are you talking about? This is a game that's striving for realism, and you're complaining that there's not enough black people in the world of medieval Bohemia? Well, there weren't many black people. If there was, it would have been a 1 in 50,000 individuals type demographic, and it likely wouldn't be walking around not the black individual would likely not be walking around in a little village like we see Talmberg overlooking. People of minorities would have possibly been in the larger towns like Prague, which is not here. We are not in Prague in this game. Prague is outside the borders of this fiefdom, this group of fiefdoms. Lords of some renown. What is that noise? Lords of some renown would have. The heck? Interesting. What I'm trying to get at here in my train of thought is maybe, the king of Bohemia, or the king of Hungary, or some of those upper echelon lords might have some more interesting retainers and or courtiers and or individuals from strange lands that might be there in their courts to assist them in maybe translations or learning or any number of different things, medical applications that different cultures may have been better at. And so they would have imported these individuals for their specialities, and they would have been very much inside of those much larger palaces. We are not seeing those palaces here. Talmberg is a small moat and bailey castle. Skalitz is just a backwoods castle that's guarding a very important silver mine, mind you. But these are not places where we would run across hordes of minorities in the first place. So the whole politically correct nonsense that revolved around this game in the beginning of its conception and release is just hogwash. But sadly, it's politically correct hogwash like that fires and drives reviewers of a certain sort, like IGN or any of these particular reviewers that Jeff Healey might be in bed with, are the same kinds of people that were complaining about Kingdom Come Deliverance. And so Kingdom Come Deliverance was very much snubbed at the box office this year, if you will. And that's fine, because I think as the time goes on, you're going to have a certain level of viewership at that type of event. Let's face it, people watching Jeff Healey's garbage are likely bored, had nothing better to watch. Like, that's part of the reason that I watched it, is I had nothing better to watch at the time. It's Christmas time of year, and the most of the network TVs kind of, well, they start showing reruns of I Love Lucy and Dick Van Dyke. Well, with that being said, here comes the Game Awards, and I get to watch it for who got snubbed and how horribly these awards are going down the drain, where, maybe the first award show I might have been pretty okay with, and the second I might have actually agreed with. But this is, the fifth, and now I'm just basically like, yeah, this is IGN all over again. This is money and greed seeping into what shouldn't be seeped into. And an award ceremony is, it's supposed to have a certain level of credibility, and Jeff Healey has lost that as far as I'm concerned. His awards ceremony is not one of fairness. Steam, however, I like how Steam has been doing their awards, and I think as time goes on, that Steam Awards are going to be looked at far more highly than garbage like Jeff Healy's televised, um, whatever you want to refer to it. I just refer to it as garbage. Anyway, that is the ultimate point of this episode. Is I wanted to express my displeasure for the snubbing of Kingdom Come Deliverance in that particular venue, and actually talk about how that particular venue has been going downhill, and how I look forward to possible vindication with the Steam Awards. If you love Kingdom Come Deliverance, I hope you get out and get to voting for Kingdom Come Deliverance at the Steam Awards, if only to tell Jeff Healy and his gang of, uh, of greedy misanthropes that they're wrong. I mean, it's obvious they're wrong. How is Monster Hunter Worlds the best RPG of the year? It's not even an RPG. Well, and on that bombshell, we will cut this episode and just take a final look at the beautiful world that is Kingdom Come Deliverance. In fact, I'm thinking about doing a Let's Play series of Kingdom Come Deliverance very soon. Um, uh, yeah. So anyway, with that being said, all you guys watching, peace, and thank you for watching.